I wanted to ask you for one simple favor. If you guys could go to this thing here, which is campus.co/thanks1w, I have no idea what the fuck that means, and leave your feedback. That would really help all of us at campus to understand what you like and don't like about the venue and events, so we can help and do better events for you in the future. All right? Will you do that for us?
Yeah.
Come on, it's better. Try better. Yes! Come on, try better. Nice. Thank you guys. So without further ado, I'll quickly tell you how it works. We have 5 companies usually presenting for 5 minutes and then taking 5 more minutes to answer all the questions that you guys have from the audience. The purpose is to really help them to perform better. So some of the startups who are here are at the idea stage. Some startups raised $70 million. So it's up for us to find out what's happening next. And without further ado, I would love to invite Adam to tell us about his company, which is Giant spelled with 1. Because I've been corrected here, all right? So guys, round of applause for Adam, please. So that's
Thank you, everyone.
And the slides are here for you. We don't have a clicker today, so we go old school and just click next on the computer.
All right, let's do this.
So in 5 minutes, you'll hear my alarm clock going off. That means that's it.
Can everyone hear me well? Sorry, just double checking.
Yep.
Great, cheers. Before we begin, because there's quite a few people today, even though there's no pizza apparently, please raise your hand if during your work at some point you have to use computer for most of the time. Alright, yeah, that wasn't surprising. But the second question is, please raise your hand again if there's a process that's repeatable and doesn't require any brain power, but you have to do it anyway. So this is probably about 50% of the room, which is interesting because according to PwC research, about 45% of our jobs today have some kind of repeatable tasks that could be automated. And as a global value, you could save about $2 trillion on those tasks. So this is what we're about to show you. You might have seen some of those news, intelligent machines, the jobs robots will steal first. Or, you know, automation may mean post-work society, but what does it really mean to us? Well, have a guess. Now, it's a time of a quiz. Within the next 20 years, what do you think, what percentage of jobs will be automated in the UK? Any guesses?
38. How many years?
20 years.
38.
What percentage?
50.
50%?
20.
20. Anyone else? 80, a bit less, about a third, so 35%. In the UK at the moment we have, according to this year's data, 31.5 million jobs, which means about 11 million jobs would potentially be replaced by technology. And especially industries like accounting, bookkeeping, auditing, these are the ones that will be replaced first, because most of the things they do are repeatable and do not require much creativity, unfortunately. And so what? So what does it really mean to you? Well, as a result, there is a need for cooperation. So let's say if there is a 45% of your daily activities that could be automated, it means that we have to employ robots, software robots, that could help you become more efficient. And now, how do we do this and what are the benefits of it? Well, first of all, you could save up about 80% of money, because if an employee costs you, let's say, £100,000, the software can do it for 1/5 of that price. Which leads to the next point, that, if it shows up, that you can have your own time machine, which is a cool idea, I think. Because imagine now that you used to deal with 100 customers, but now your company can deal with 500 without employing more people, which means you're actually creating more time to deploy it for other activities. So, and also, if you use software to do tasks for you instead of you doing them yourself, imagine you have a company that employs 100 people, and there is a new software that everyone has to learn. I'm not sure how many of you had the new software they had to learn, but when I had it, I could not learn it for a good few months. So because of that, if you use robots, there is a much increased agility, which as a result can increase efficiency again. And now to show you a short video and also freeing human talent. So most of the people, at least from my experience, the reason why people hate their jobs is because they have to do work that does not require any creativity, any input, and it seems boring, right? And when you decide to automate this work, you can simply focus on more creative tasks or decision-making, things that we can do and we are excited to do. So to show you a short video, let me just explain that the way our solution works, it is a simple process that replicates human behavior on the screen. The problem is many people have, let's say accountants for example, they have different platforms they use which are not integrated, which means 50% of the time they spend copying data from one program to another, exporting spreadsheets, sending emails, something that could be automated. I'm not sure if you have similar processes, but to give you an example how it works, so this is done, one process, instead of an accountant, it's done by our automatic software. Oh, so we use it? Oh, there you go. Yes, so it looks in for you, for the system, to enter the system. It can export profit and loss sheet. So it exports another report. And then it sends an email to a customer for you. It attaches the files. And it can send it off for you as well. So it attaches both of those files, signs it for you. And it can send off automatically. It can be triggered by CRM, or you can do it yourself. Well, the whole point is that imagine this activity takes an accountant 20 minutes or 10 minutes, 15 minutes, depending, but the program can do it for you within a minute and a half. So what are the implications? Well, if there's a company that has 100 people and they have tens of those processes, you pretty much just, instead of people that do those tasks, you need people that know how to operate robots. So they can have different functions they press during the work. And it makes things much more easy and much less annoying, I guess.
Adam, I have 1 minute for you and you cannot automate that. So.
Great. What's the current situation? Well, we have the MVP ready, which is already in use. We've been implementing it in the company that employs over 100 accountants. And the way it works, we're still implementing it, which means we need more capital. We need more work power as well. So next step is to fully develop the software so people can buy licenses, because we would like it to be available for most of the people, not just corporations or bigger companies, but to have it freely available for a quite affordable price. Now, also we need money to start running marketing campaigns, as you may imagine, and this is our team. There's 4 musketeers, and basically our current situation is we're looking for investors and partners. As you may imagine, this is the reason why we are all here. And with this slide, I'm going to finish. So thank you. If you have any questions, please let me know. Yes?
Very good presentation.
Thank you.
Are you developing a more general purpose platform that could be used for any industry, any segment, or are you focusing on a specific segment?
Yes, thank you for the question. So the whole purpose is to automate the screen behavior. So whatever you click, whatever you press, all the keyboards, whatever clicks you're going to do, the software is meant to replicate it. So it will be available for any industry.
In your demo, you selected a file in the attachment. How do we know which file to select?
Well, depending on the name of the file, it can be triggered by CRM. If it has, let's say, there can be from at least, because my colleague deals with the technical stuff, so I'm not very good with that. But as far as I understand, you can choose in the CRM that could trigger it. It's usually the file is connected to the CRM in the system, or it knows the name. If you want more information, you have to ask this guy. Yes, gentlemen.
Is this something like a bot, or does it run in the background, or is it you just record your own script?
Yes, so you record your own script. The difference is there is more, you also program it. So we want this to be very easy to program. So there is our own language that we develop, where basically if there is something more, like for example, we may have different functions to respond to. Let's say for one of our clients we did the money laundering check, and there is a behavior that happens when they pass the check, and what happens when they don't. So then those functions can be triggered, and it all runs on the screen. It's not in the background at the moment. Okay, yeah?
Is it only for Windows or?
Yes, at the moment it's just for Windows. Yes. There was one more question I think over there, unless it's been answered.
What is know-how of your program?
Know-how in terms of technology?
The
Or?
new technology. What's
Yes.
so Microsoft Excel, for example, scripts.
Yes. So obviously, big corporation did have kind of similar solutions available already. What makes us different is we want to make it available for every person. So you don't have to have special programming training to be able to use this solution, and it has more functions in terms of it's not just recording the screen, but you can use different variables as well. But as a result, we want this to be available to people that basically do not know how to program like I.
So, this assumes that people are doing exactly the same thing every day, but that's not true. But they need to do something slightly different. They're going to spend half of their time figuring out how to make the robot know that they're doing that.
Okay. Could you give me an example just to make it clear? Or
Let's say you're supposed to send an email with a spreadsheet every day to one person. What happens if that day you don't need to send that spreadsheet? How does the robot know that?
well, basically, it can be triggered automatically by CRM. So let's say there is a week before the invoice is due, it needs to be sent. And once it's sent, this is how the action is performed.
So there's no process of artificial intelligence behind it or anything?
Not at that stage.
Okay.
Does it work with more like HTML5 kind of applications as well?
As long as you can use it on the screen, it will replicate it.
Okay.
Is that all? Yes, the last question.
Does this assume that all, let's say, the buttons that you press, they're all in the same place every single time?